was time for you to raise your voice and ask somebody why, but you did nothing. You just stood there, you watched as she rolled by, so get in line, shut your mouth, keep your eyes fixed straight ahead. There you go, now she's rolling, you're out of time. There you go. Wanna hold on to your freedom, you gotta grab it by the throat. But you got fists full of nothing if you can't take the time to vote. Your opinion doesn't really count, you've heard that one before. Well, the next sound you're gonna hear is the slamming of a door. If freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose, then I guess censorship's another word for nothing left to choose. And she's rolling line. There you go. Now she's rolling. You're out of time. There you go. The freedom train is pulling out. It's leaving you behind. It's been commandeered by the censors of the mind. Next time you hear that whistle blow, it's gonna sound a little strange. You see, they've overhauled their engines, and her car's been rearranged. Our capital's built on a swamp, it's sinking in the mud, with the ashes of campaign promises swept beneath the rug. I think our senators need chaperones and our congressmen need cops. They're like a runaway train on a wrong track, and no telling when they'll stop. It seems like crime and corruption is that city's main export. We ought to build a wall around it all as our last resort. Now she's rolling down the line. There you go. Now she's rolling. You're out of time. There you go. This next song's called Nothing New. I remember being 8 years old, walking down the road on the way to school. The kind of day where the clouds are high and the sky is 3 different shades of blue. The trees had never looked so green, the gravel crunched beneath my shoes. I was hearing voices in my head, but I was not afraid, it was nothing new. They say it's all been done before, they say what's old will soon be new. They say when you throw it all away, that one day it comes back to you. There's beauty in a field of weeds, dandelions dancing in the breeze. But mow your lawn and sweep it clean and call the poison truck the painted green. They say it's all been said before. You pray for peace, you ask for war. They say you've got to read between the lines to understand who the killing's for. There's tears of anguish and there's cries of pain being drowned by the cheering horde. They're glad to see the team win again. I wonder if they're even keeping score. But when the bullets fly and the razor cuts, God only knows, but they're not telling us. But that's nothing new. Oh, that's nothing new. Oh, that's nothing new. Nothing new.
Thank you.
Thank you. This next song is dedicated to the families who lost men in the Vietnam War. It's called 10,000 Tears. All right. Plane rolls down the runway. You can hear the engines whine. The pilot clears for takeoff, and back home it's crying time. The wings are shining silver. The rubber of the tire is black. The windows reflect the blue sky. They're bringing the KIAs back. And now the flag drapes over the casket, reminding us of the wars gone by. And for every thread in that fabric, 10,000 tears have been cried. Well, the soldiers in the ground now, and dust once again becomes dust. But there's still more sabers and plowshares to fly the colors at half-mast and let the cannons grow covered with rust. And now the money that they gave his family, it ain't as much as it might seem. You can't put a price on a young man's life or put a value on his dreams. And now the flag drapes over the casket, reminding us of the men who have died. And for every thread in that fabric, just ask their mothers how many tears they've cried. Thank you. Thank you. Here's another song about Vietnam. This is a story that was told to me by a friend of mine who was a crewman on an Air Force cargo plane. One of the last planes to leave Vietnam in the mid-70s when Saigon fell. And there was a whole plane load of, believe it or not, German shepherd heads that were sent back to a research lab in New Jersey to be studied. They studied the brains of the dogs that had been in combat. It's a wild story, and I thought that it deserves a song. It probably doesn't, but here it is. It's called Square Metal Boxes. 150 German shepherd heads are neatly stacked in the cargo hold of a C-130 on their way to an East Coast research lab, where scientists with a government grant are patiently waiting. Come boy, sit boy, don't look at me that way. It's for the good of humanity, or so the orders say. Well, you've been decommissioned, you've hardly served your time, and now the white coats on the East Coast will dissect your mind. 150 or so the orders say. Well, you've been decommissioned, you've obviously served your time, and on the White Coast, on the East Coast, we'll dissect your mind. Come boy, sit boy, don't look at me that way. It's for the good of humanity, or so the orders say. Well, you've been decommissioned, you've honorably served your time, and on the White Coast, on the East Coast, we'll dissect your mind. Let me see. Here's another song about the military. Seems a lot of my songs are about that, but it's a wide open field. This is a story about a young Marine on duty on Post 13 Naval Base Pearl Harbor one night at 11:30 at night. Pulls a service pistol, loads it, and fires one shot into his brain, committing suicide. And up until the moment that he died, he maintained a military logbook with military log entries without a suicide note or any explanation. And no one could believe that he did this, but he did. He took all his friends by surprise. No one understands suicide, and they never will, but here's a tribute I wrote for that young Marine. It's called the 2330 Blues. 2300, Post 13 all secure. There's nothing unusual to report at this time. He came from a town outside of Auburn. He joined the Corps on a whim, but the green machine was not his scene. He knew he'd sink if he didn't swim. So he plugged away for a year or so, struggling day by day. And although we'd not gone crazy yet, I guess he knew he was on his way. 2315, Post 13 all secure. There's nothing unusual to report at this time. You'd never think he wasn't happy, but then you never know. I guess everyone has pain inside, sometimes the pain don't show. Of all the things on his troubled mind, he never said what bothered him most. He pulled back the slide on a 45 pistol and relieved himself from his post. 2330, Post 13 all secure. There's nothing unusual to report at this time. Well, 10 men went out on the 8 to 12 boat, one less man came in. The palm trees swaying, I was playing a humble version of Dust in the Wind. Well, everyone has their opinion, but everybody knows that 1 mile as a crow flies might be 5 as the river flows. 2330, Post 13 all secure. There's nothing unusual to report at this time. Here's a song that's going out of style. I gotta sing this one pretty quick before it changes. It's pretty much self-explanatory. It's about the payphones and the never-ending dilemma of losing money in it. When you use a quarter for a 20-cent call, the payphone does not make change. Well, I wonder where all that money goes. Could somebody please explain? If you counted all the payphones from Savannah to Spokane, a few $1 million in nickels, that's some serious pocket change. Well, Uncle Sam sure helps himself to my pie. I pay taxes every year, But is a phone company claiming that money it's making free and clear? In this day and age, every penny counts. You've got to scrimp and scratch. And though it may not be much, I'm telling you what, I want my nickel back. Got it. I want my nickel back. I want my nickel back. Though it may not be much, I'm telling you what, I want my nickel back. Well, last month when I paid my phone bill, what I sent was a little shy. So I enclosed this note with a statement explaining the reason why I cannot pay the full amount, much to my dismay. I made too many calls on the paid telephone, and I'm a little short on change. I want my nickel back. I want my nickel back. Though it may not be much, I'm telling you what, I want my nickel back. This next course is for the petroleum companies of the world. Marathon and Shell, Sunoco, but especially our good friends at Exxon. When Saddam Hussein sent his troops across the Kuwaiti borderline, you raised the price at the gas pumps across the nation in record time. But someday I'll break free from the chains of your dirty oil well, and you can kiss my ass and take your gas and choke on it in hell. Everybody, I want my nickel back. I want my nickel back. Though it may not be much, I'm telling you what, I want my nickel back. You guys having a good time out there? I got a chorus. If you're not, I got this chorus for you. I want my money back. I want my money back. It costs way too much, and this show really sucks, and I want my money back. Thank you. This is my last song. This song is it's called "Trouble with the Earth." And it was written in response to Earth Day 1990. Now that was a strange time in this country. We saw different environmental groups pop up out of nowhere and ask for $1 here and $1 there. And I think a lot of them were scamming. I don't know what you think. This song is also dedicated to those brave individuals who like to stop at Taco Bell on the way home from the bar and whip the bag out the window. That's really pretty. Anyway, it's called "Troubled with the Earth." Well, it's been a busy day. What are you trying to sell? Oh, Mother Nature's in trouble. She could really use my help. Well, if I make a small donation, will I receive a free decal? It's funny, a little charity can make you feel so fine. But it's only a tree and it's only a bird, and in the grand scheme of things, tell me what's it really worth? The universe began on the day of my birth. My life is far too important to be troubled with you. The TV war is over, but the fighting still remains. They've put out the fires and blown the smoke our way. It's not a question of morals, just example of our thirst. To think a madman in the desert has the nerve to waste it first. Well, there's a fortune going up in smoke, and that's what really hurts. So let it burn, let it burn. It really doesn't it's only the air and it's only the dirt. And in the grand scheme of things, tell me what's it really worth? The universe began on the day of my birth. My life is far too important to be troubled with you. 'Cause it's only the air and it's only the dirt. And in the grand scheme of things, tell me what's it really worth? The universe began on the day of my birth. My life is far too important to be troubled with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.